So to begin, we're talking about an empire of e-commerce stores, and many entrepreneurs believe that the only way they can make money is by actually selling parts on an e-commerce online store. What I'm going to show you here in this webinar is many other ways of making money with the stores, which could potentially result in much more money to be made and much less time to actually work on the store itself. So here are a few opportunities that would arise if you're going to build an empire of stores. So obviously, you can run them all, and you can outsource customer service staff if necessary, if you can't handle it yourself. The second part is if you're going to do many different niche brands. And when I say niche brand, I'm talking about an actual brand from a company. You're going to make a website specializing in only that brand of products. The reason why I say niche brands versus niche markets, which could be, anything. It could be for a vehicle or whatever. A niche brand is good because the company that you're going to specialize in, they market their own products through different sources. They could be doing trade shows. They could be doing magazine advertising. So there could be many different ways in how they actually market their products and expose their brand. And when people are looking to buy their product, the first place they go to is Google. And if you can rank yourself high enough, being number one or number two, number three, they will obviously find your store. So there's less risk involved in a niche brand versus doing any kind of other store, including a niche market, which is not a brand. Third way is you can get into advertising by having an empire of different stores. And keep in mind that you can do everything with a single store, but what I'm talking about is actually getting into a volume-based business where you don't have to put your full attention to one specific store. You can just kind of roll with a general idea, and you'll see very good results. And we'll get into that as we move on through the webinar. So you can get into advertising with your store. You can get into leasing or renting the online real estate. So you can actually, once your store is established and traffic is coming in and the only thing really needs to happen is monetize that store, you can lease it or rent it to someone and tell them, listen, pay me this much every month, and you can do whatever you want with the store as long as you don't abandon it. You can keep running. It's like renting a store, a physical store location. You can also get into becoming an SEO marketing firm, even though you're not going to be looking for clients. The clients will be coming to you based on the business model that I'm going to explain that you can do. So let's start by talking about the online empire concept. Like, how would you even start it? Step one is choosing the right niche, and it could be multiple different ones, or it could be the same one many different times. So in other words, you can do multiple niches that are different brands, or you can do many websites for a specific brand or specific category of products. I'll show you some examples later on. This is the first step that you need to do. And this is very important because if you choose the wrong niche, you're risking that the work you're going to put into it, nothing is going to happen, with that site, and it's going to be a waste of time and a waste of money. So it's very important that you choose the right niche. And, how do you choose the right niche? Well, you can use the TerraPeak tool, and I have a archived webinar on Shopping Cart Elite, I believe, and in the tutorials of Shopping Cart Elite explaining how to do research with TerraPeak. So you can use TerraPeak to research the marketplace and see how a certain niche is doing. So if you see that one guy is collecting 70 grand worth of sales and everyone else is not even doing anything, and you want to tap into the $70,000 a month in sales, that could be something to consider. But I like to get into niches which are doing at least $200,000 or more every month. And obviously there's niches that do $500,000 and $1 million and so on. Garmin GPS I believe, is like $5 million a month in sales that from eBay alone, versus the last one I looked up was Autometer. It was like $90,000 per month. So the bottom line is that it doesn't matter which brand you're doing, as long as it's a good niche and as long as you feel that you will be able to eventually rank. It doesn't matter if it's a Garmin with $5 million worth of sales. It doesn't matter if it's an Odometer with $70,000 worth of sales. The bottom line is that once you rank, you can capture that traffic and you can do anything you want with it. Everybody assumes that why would I ever get into Garmin if I don't have a discount? Well, we'll get into that later on in the webinar, but Garmin is a great marketplace because there's so much money involved in it, which means that there's a lot of heavy competition. But that's a good thing from the advertising standpoint, because if you approach one of them and tell them, hey, I'm ranked here, I can send you this much traffic, and you have the lowest prices, so they have to be buying these products from you, you can potentially get yourself a really good client who's going to be paying you several $1,000s every single month just for you sending the leads to him. We'll get into that further down in the webinar, but the bottom line is that you got to do the right niche. If you're doing automotive, it depends where you want to go with your online empire. If you want to do advertising, or if you want to do wholesale, or if you want to run the stores, or whatever you want to do, based on that, you choose your niches. So if you want to run it, you obviously want to be realistic about getting suppliers and good discounts. So you might want to stick to like smaller niches. If you want to do Garmin, maybe you want to find out what's their buy-in if you want to eventually retail or wholesale and be successful at it. The second step, after you find the niche that you believe is good, and I'll use Garmin as an example because that's an awesome niche. It's $5 million a month in sales, and eBay alone. I mean, it's really nice. You want to find one of the three things. So if you want to get involved in selling the parts, you want to find a supplier who will later be able to supply the parts. So you want to call the supplier and you want to tell him, can you give me a discount, which is going to be the lowest. You see who your competition is. You find the lowest guy who sells it at the lowest bottom price, and you call the supplier and you tell him, listen, if I had a sales channel, if I had a website, which is my sales channel, which generates 50 potential customers because they send me quotes every single month, and potentially I can convert all those customers, or at least half of them, 25 of them, and I can give you 25 orders every month for this brand, what price would you be able to give me? And if he can give you a price which is lower than the lowest competitor in your marketplace, then that's something for you to consider to do. So you might want to start a store, rank it, and then call the supplier and say, listen, I'm ready. I got the traffic. I got everything. Give me that discount that you promised, and give it to me for a month, and I'll show you what I can do with it. Garmin, for example, you're not going to find anybody who's going to be able to beat the lowest guy, because the lowest guy is most likely a distributor who's liquidating his inventory. So it's unlikely that you're going to get a lower discount. So in that case, you might want to call that individual. Before you're going to call that individual, calling that individual would be the third one. For the second one, we're not going to call anyone. You're just going to say, you know what, I can potentially get somebody to advertise on my site that needs Garmin leads or Garmin quote requests. I'm just going to go ahead and start that site, and I'm going to rank it. So you're going to just start the website without even contacting any suppliers or any lead generation partners, nobody. And you're going to rank it. You're going to get it to the number one position, number two, number three, whatever. You're going to get enough traffic. You're going to see the quotes are coming in. And then you can decide on what you want to do with it. So one choice to consider would be calling the lowest guy that sells, on Google or eBay and telling him, listen, I'm getting 50 quote requests every month for this part number. How about I'm going to give you a trial where you're going to try to convert them, and then we can decide if we're going to split the money on the sales, or I'm going to just charge you an advertising fee. But in the beginning, I'll let you do it for free. You can try to monetize the leads I'm giving you, and then after a week or 2-week trial, we'll talk about doing something, with partnerships or advertising. Choice number 2 is you can have like an affiliate link for eBay or Amazon where somebody requests a quote and you send them the link to eBay, which is the cheapest price. They buy it. You get like 5% affiliate commission from eBay. I personally would not go that route. I would really try my best to find a client who can monetize the leads and will be happy to actually, pay me the money for those quotes. So, and I'm going to show you an example of one website that I have and one client that I'm working with that is doing that, so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. So the third choice would be to be the SEO firm that I mentioned. And the way that would work is you would call, let's say, a website that sells Garmin, and they have a pretty competitive price, and you'll say, listen, I'm calling from this company. I do search engine optimization. I basically start websites, I rank them, and I send you the leads from that website. You don't have to pay me a penny. That's the beauty about it. You don't even have to call them. You can potentially email them and tell them this. So you don't have to pay me anything for the services. I will do this for free for you. But when the website is ranked and sending over leads, I'd like to get paid, X amount for each lead or X amount per month or split up, the commissions from each sale. So this way, the reason why I kind of like that idea is because you'll have someone that would be willing to work with you right away as soon as the quotes are coming in, and potentially they can be the client, so you won't have to look for one later on. When I experimented this technique, I did it kind of vice versa. So I started the website first, and then I was looking for the client, which I did find, but I'm sure it would have been easier doing it the other way around. So as far as what's involved in building the store, you don't have to do anything crazy with it. You set up everything for the back office in the website based on the video tutorials and shopping cart leads. Set up your categories, set up the products. If you need to enter products, obviously you enter them. Set up the analytics, and obviously you can submit Google Base and so on. What you need to do, it's really simple. You don't have to actually sit there monetizing it or doing customer service on it in the beginning. You don't have to do any of that. You must have a link exchange list of between 300 to 500 link partners. If you don't have a link exchange list and you're going to decide to do this, I can donate mine to you. You just ask me for it. But you need a link list to link your websites with. Unless you're planning to do this yourself, which if you're doing it for one website or two websites, you can do it yourself. If you're planning to do it for 5 or 30 websites, this is going to be a waste of time if you decide to do it yourself. But I recommend that if you're going to do the empire, which is at least 5 websites, 5 to 10, you need to hire a Philippine worker. The only goal that the Philippine worker is going to have is do links all day long, every single day they're working. That's their only task. They're capable of doing one link exchange every 3 minutes. That's 160 links per day. So if they do 5 links per day per website, you can have them do about 32 websites per day for you. And, if your empire consists of 5 or 10 websites, you can either partner with someone else who wants to do this or hire them part-time, like hire a Philippine worker part-time, and you can potentially get the salary that you actually are paying them for the work as low as, 50 cents per hour, considering how many links they're doing. So obviously, to get 50 cents per hour, you would need to hire one full-time worker and split the cost for that full-time worker between X amount of partners who are doing their empires. That way you can really save money. I mean, 50 cents per hour, you can't really beat that. As far as managing the Philippine worker, you just need to give them the website you want them to link, the anchor text you want them to use, and the link exchange list itself, so the link list. What you would do on your side is you would import the link list to each store and activate them so the links would actually be on your store so they don't have to go and add it themselves, the Philippine worker. You can teach them how to do that, but I'm sure it'll be easier to do it yourself. It's going to take you one day versus explaining it to them. And you import the link list, activate them, and all of a sudden all of the links that they need to link with two-way are going to appear on the website, so they only need to link to the other website because your website already has the link, the reciprocal link. And the only responsibility that the Philippine worker has is to exchange one link with each website using a unique email address, and they need to do 5 or 6 links a day for each site. You can use the Google Docs to manage their work. So as long as you're doing links, eventually the website will naturally rank, and you're going to get in the position of making your decision on where you want to go next. So here's how to monetize the websites. Now, I recently was practicing with this because I never actually had a chance to sit down and turn an e-commerce store into an advertising platform. And I recently did it, and I love it. Main reason why I love it is because I have no customer service. I have no complaints. I have nothing. Literally, I do this once. I sign up X amount of clients to advertise on it. As long as they're happy with my leads, I just make sure the links keep coming in. So, I have a maintenance fee that I have to pay the Philippine worker to make sure the links are being added on, so I keep my ranking forever. They pay me every month. So it's like a subscription that you can rely on. It's stable, and even if one guy decides not to pay you, there's going to be 10 lined up because you have a really good store with many leads, and who doesn't want to get advertising? I mean, Google is they cash in like $3 billion every quarter in advertising revenue. So advertising is definitely the business to be in, especially if you can tap into Google's search. They're giving you the opportunity to tap into their search and become an advertiser, except nobody really practices with this business model. I always like to do something new. I like to, monetize new ideas and try new different things. And so far, I'm really loving this idea. So here's how it works. I already mentioned it. I'll just repeat it again. You start a website, you rank it. Instead of selling on that website, instead of selling the products and selling the items and doing customer service, I mean, if the store converts and you're happy with the sales and you get minimum customer service and it's autopiloted and you have great prices, that's fine. Leave it as e-commerce. Maybe it's worth it to do that and hire an outsourcer to do some of the minimal customer service or do it yourself, whatever. If that works for you, that's fine. But if you want to have a 3-hour workday and potentially make $100K or more every year in salary, clean salary, the advertising model is awesome. So you rank the store, you get the traffic in, you disable the shopping cart, you enable the quote system. You find a lead generation partner, so somebody who wants to buy your quotes, and you charge them. You either charge them per click, you charge them per conversion for every time a sale is made, or you charge them a monthly fee. You don't have to do it with one guy. You can get 5 guys to be a part of your website. So if you want my traffic and you want to get conversions, you're one of the 5 advertisers on my website. Fees $300 to be in the regular position. There might be like premium ads or exclusive ads or whatever, and it can start off as $300, and as more people come in and demand to be on your website to be advertising on there, you can just keep raising the fee and calling whatever shots you want as far as the fee goes. I like the fact that you can have like a homepage ad. I have that here under selling advertising space. You can have an exclusive ad space like Car Domain has it. I'm going to just go to their website just to show you an example. See, like right here, a homepage ad, they have a one that's going to their website. So you can say, listen, if you don't want to get quotes, if you want to just get direct traffic to your website, I can put an ad here. This one is going to cost you $1,000 a month. Street Performance, they have the ad space where people compete for the business. For example, you go to Street Performance. I want to buy a cold air intake, and whatever. I want to buy this one, K&N. So you press compare prices. Check out how many guys they got advertising in their store. And some of them are paying, like I'm sure this guy, if he's number one, I'm sure he's paying them some special price to be number one. Some of them are affiliate links. Some of them are pay-per-click. Some of them are pay-per-action. Like the Street Performance guys did the whole 9 yards on their website. They did all kinds of different models that are part of the same ranking. You got all kinds of different affiliates here that pay them differently. But they're getting a ton of traffic, and that's how they're making their money. So you can do ad space. You can put AdSense. So one of the things that I did on my hypertext store, so I started the store, ranked it, I put ads here, right? And some of you might have ads if you are doing the partnership program, but if you're paying for your store, you can enable the ads on your store. I don't recommend you do this unless you're selling advertising, because then you're going to not make any kind of sales. So the only time you add ads is if you decide that you have enough traffic to monetize those ads and you want to do the advertising model. That's when you do the ads. So the bottom line is that you can say, I have ad spaces on this, plus I have the quote system. So individuals who want to get quotes from me, the fee is going to be $500 a month And anybody who requests a quote, I'm going to forward it on to you. So you're going to get a quote and you can monetize on it. So you press get a quote, they fill it out, quote comes in, you forward it to them, and for this one, it's going to be $300. Now, you can also eventually sell this ad space for much more money than what Google is paying you to someone else who's willing to, take this space. For example, in Shopping Cart Lead, I advertise on, this website. There's a review website, but theoretically, this could have been an e-commerce website, right? So this is my link here, right? This is a paid link going directly to my website, so I'm paying for this link. Then I haven't submitted my banner yet, but for this banner, it's a different price, extra. And then if you want to be listed number one under, the hosted carts, it's another fee. So basically, he made a business model where he made a website, ranked it, and now he's doing these different advertising ad spaces on his site. And people are jumping on board because he's ranked, he's getting the traffic. Why not? That's his business model. He's doing advertising. I want to be involved because I need the leads from a certain product. So I need the leads for shopping cart customers. The client that I'm working with for Hypertech, he needs leads for Hypertech because there's so many competitors out there, and Hypertech has a minimum advertising price, so they don't allow you to advertise cheaper. And if I get them I wrote here, we are lowering our prices. Get a quote for your part below. So they know that they're going to get it cheaper than the map price, and that's why they will fill out a quote, and then I send it on to one of my partners that I'm working with, and he converts them for a lower price than map, and he's happy, I'm happy, everybody's happy. The advertising is awesome. Now, you also have the choice to sell the whole website to the partner that you're working with. So you can say, listen, how about you're going to buy me out for 20 grand? You're paying me 500 a month. You're making enough sales on it. Just pay me 20 grand in one large sum, and you can keep it. If that doesn't work, you can always sell it on Flippa because somebody who buys it might want to either keep the advertising model or turn it into an e-commerce store, or keep the advertising model and put their own store as well as other people's store on that same website. For Hypertech specifically, I actually started the store. The client that I was building the store for, he abandoned the project. He had his personal reasons. I continued to rank the store. The store got ranked. It's getting about 4,000 unique visitors every month to it. And I didn't have a client to monetize. I was playing with Google Ads. Then we did the quote system on it. And now with the quote system, it's getting about, several leads every single week. I'm not interested in converting them. So I basically went on Google AdWords. I just typed in Hypertech. I just went through each one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just went to each one of them. I called them. I emailed them. I basically said, when I called them, I said, listen, I didn't bother explaining who I was or what I was doing. I just said, listen, we have a website. It's getting Hypertech visitors. It's getting quotes that need to be converted. I want to send them to you for free so you can see how well they do. If you like how they do, we can talk about the advertising fee or some kind of a partnership together. If they ask, how did you get a hold of the website, you can say that's what you do. You build the websites and then you sell advertising on them. You can say that you were building it for a client and the client abandoned it and now you're stuck with it. You need to do something with it. So there could be different kinds of reasons you tell them. The bottom line is you tell them, I'm sure somebody who's serious about it will consider it. And I guarantee you that somebody will consider it and somebody will sign up for it because it's a no-brainer. I mean, especially in the beginning, you're sending them free traffic. Why not? Free traffic. Let's give it a try. There's nothing to lose. So this is one of the models that you can do to monetize your empire. Obviously, if you already have a website, you might have a general store. That's going to be a hard one to find somebody who's going to be willing to sign up and pay advertising fee because I don't know how many different leads you get and what the leads are about. A niche market for like a non-competitive niche market, like, for a car specific. I don't know how well that's going to do because there might not be others who are interested in that kind of market, or if you have competitors out there, I don't know if they're willing to pay you to get this traffic because they feel they're already getting that traffic, and so niche brand is a no-brainer because there's always competitors out there for that brand. It's qualified leads. Most of them, all the niche brands that I've done at least fill out the quotes in order to see what kind of price they can get. So that's why I recommend niche brand because I know it works and it works very well, and you'll have no problem finding advertisers to advertise on that site. Let's say that you started the site with the intentions of advertising, but then you said, you know what? I don't want to do advertising, or I can't find an advertiser. What else can I do with it? So I don't want to run it. I'm having trouble finding advertisers, or I don't want to find an advertiser. What can I do? So it's extremely easy to find a partner to run your business while you sit back and watch it grow, because who doesn't want an established business that's ready to go, getting leads, and just needs conversions? In fact, the only reason you would consider finding a partner and not charging him a penny is because you feel that he really knows the market and he's really good and he's committing full time to make this work and grow the business, et cetera, et cetera. That's the only reason why you would consider doing it without charging him anything, or charging him later on, from the profits you make, just to pay off some of the fee to get the equity in the store. And if you have a problem finding a partner for your established store, we'll help you find one, because we got a ton of new signups coming in the hundreds every month in our other companies that would love to be your partner. So you can kind of pick and choose a domestic individual who knows the marketplace to do this with you. You can hire a Philippine worker to do your customer service if you feel that you can monetize the website and they can do your customer service and you'll still come out positive at the end. You can do that. Or you can find, if Shopping Cart Elite can't help you find a partner and you want a partner, wholesalecentral.com is where you would advertise, and I can guarantee you'll find a partner within a few days. Now, you can run the online business yourself. So let's say you have an advertiser on there and you see how many leads they're getting and you see how happy they are and you see how they're converting. You can start another website and send yourself some quotes and try to monetize them, or send yourself a lot more quotes. The lead generation client might not know how many quotes you exactly get every day, so you might split them up, give more to yourself, or get rid of everybody completely and just take the site and start monetizing it. I mean, if you believe that you can make more money with it by running it versus doing advertising, you're the one who calls the shots. So you can flip it any day you want, and that's it, especially if there's no contract. You have nothing to lose. I mean, do that and see how it goes. Basically, you can either run it yourself, just flip it and turn it into e-commerce instead of the advertising, or just tap into the lead generation that you've been sending to the lead generation client and get some leads yourself and monetize those and close some more sales for yourself. So that's how you would monetize the empire. And I already said this earlier, that you can do this with one store, but one store increases your risk of most of these or one of these not working very well, because we don't know how well you're going to rank. We don't know how many customers you're going to get. We don't know how many quotes you're going to get. Like, it's all a bunch of ifs. So maybe you'll start, 5, and out of the 5, 2 work out. The other 3, you'll need to do something with them. Maybe put ads on them and just let them be, or do something with them. But basically, I mean, if you choose the right niches and you choose, even one, that'll be perfect. But the whole idea for the empire is so you can make more money if they all work out. And in case all of them don't work out, I'm sure there will be some that did, and you will still be happy with the amount of money you're making. So how do you choose your niches? I already mentioned that if you do a specific brand, that's the lowest risk of it not succeeding. And, if you do a brand that has $5 million a month in sales and you believe that you can rank it to be, in the top 5 on Google, more power to you. And if you get it there, I can assure you, you will succeed with it. If you're doing a niche brand that has, 20 grand in sales every month, I honestly don't know how well it's going to do. Maybe it'll do something, maybe not. But the bottom line is that if you do a niche brand, you're tapping into that brand's advertising. So whatever that brand did to brand their company and their product, you don't have to do it again, because people are already going on Google and searching for it, so you benefit from their advertising. You don't need to go and establish a brand for yourself and establish the quality of your product or whatever. People are already looking for it. You just got to give them the right price. Doing a niche product, which is a specific category, you have a low risk only if you do the right research. So an example of a niche product is like dash kits. There's no specific brand that people look for when they shop for dash kits. They just type in dash kits or wood dash trim kit or whatever. So that's a category. If you look on Terapeak, there's 500 grand in sales every month in dash kits. It's like 400 something. So it's between 4 and 500. It's a lot of money, right? So if you can tap into a big chunk of it, it's a pretty good niche. But if you do like a air intakes category, I don't know how well you're going to rank with it because there's different kinds of air intakes. People search for specific brands. The ones that don't search for specific brands are just shopping around, reviewing the specific brands. So that might not be a good idea. Basically, if you're doing a category, make sure it's very, very tight and there's a lot of money in it. So an example like dash kits, it's not very common, but I'm sure there's others like that. The best way to look up what product or what keywords to tap into, you just type it in Google. Like type in, so if you type in like wood dash, you see, different keywords that people search for, which is why they show up here. So you type in wood dash kits and you see, how many competitors you have and how many websites are competing and so on. When you name your domain name, you can obviously name it wood dash kit or whatever to capture that specific keyword term. If you're doing this, you need to make sure you have suppliers who are capable of giving you good prices if you're getting into selling the products, or it's a good idea to find a lead generation client that's willing to accept the leads and potentially pay you for them. Try to make sure that the competition will be low to moderate. You don't want to go into a very heavy competitive niche because you're going to have a hard time ranking it. Niche market, which is a specific target market, so when you're targeting a group of people versus a product, you get medium risk with the right research. So doing a car niche, again, lead generation or advertising might be out of the question if you have no competitors because you have nobody to buy your leads. And are the customers going to buy your products? Questionable. You have to build a brand for yourself. You've got to participate on forums, depending which car. Again, some cars you don't, some cars you do. So you really got to do your good research before getting involved. Otherwise, you might end up getting a ton of traffic but no sales, and then you're going to wonder why. And there's going to be many reasons why, because the brand for that niche has not been built up yet. And general store is a very high risk unless you already have an empire of niche brands, which is then you can do a general store, and because you have all this niche brands and you have the data for all the niche brands and the prices, you can sync it into your general store, and that will work. But starting a general store and trying to make it successful with these different models like the advertising, or starting 5 different general stores, it's risky. It's actually a very high risk because the only thing you can really do in a general store is sell products, which is directly related to having good prices. If you don't have good prices, you're probably not going to do a lot of selling on that store. When you choose a niche domain name, avoid trademark infringed names. So don't use the company name, the brand that you're doing. Don't use their name in your domain name unless you want to get it taken away from you once you do all this work to it. Try to fit a noun in between the company name. So like an example is Autometer is a brand name. So one of the guys put Auto Boost Meter. Because boost, it's a noun, they can't really take you to court for that, because you can say that auto is related to the automotive that you're doing, and you're selling boost meters, or boost meter could be considered a single word. So you're doing auto boost meter, not autometer. Anybody can take you to court for anything, but you're going to have a pretty good argument against them taking your domain. What I like to do is I like to use some of the words from their brand name and mix it together with their product names, which are not trademark. So, for example, my Weaponar store that I did and sold, Weaponar is the brand name. They have a product called Secret Weapon Intakes. So I just basically took the word secret from Secret Weapon Intakes. Coincidentally, Weapon is their company name, and their intake was called Secret Weapon. So that kind of fit together. And then I put the word performance in there because a lot of people search for Weaponar performance. And I got that information from Google suggestion tool. So I typed in, Weaponar. I can try to do it now. I don't know if that's going to come up now. But if I type in Weaponar, I guess when you type in P, for parts, Weaponar parts, you see that people search for parts and performance. I think I found it here under related terms. But anyway, so that's how I came up with this domain. Spec clutches, somebody was asking me, what do you recommend for spec clutches? So spec clutches, they call their clutches by stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Obviously when people search for a specific product on Google, they search for the product names from the brand. So I decided to do, spec, and then I put stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, stage 5 clutch that they have. I didn't put the word clutch, and their trademark name is spec clutch. So I have spec stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's no possible way they can do anything about that. And the chances for me ranking above them are high because I have the word spec in there. I'm going to have clutch in all my anchor text during linking, and I might come up higher for other keyword terms, which consist of the word stage, because it's in my domain name. So I might actually end up ranking higher than them. So another example was iBox Springs. I know iBox is a big company. They'll take you to court the first chance they get if they want to. They have the money to do it. I didn't, and iBox is a pretty unique name, so I didn't want to use their name at all. So I believe they have a product called Sport Line Kit or something like that. Then they have a Pro Line Kit. So I just use sportprolinekit.com, targeting their names, and then in my anchor text during linking, I'm going to do iBox all the time. So eventually, I'm going to end up ranking. I might not rank number 1 for the term iBox, but I will rank number 1 for the term iBox Sport Line Kit or Pro Line Kit, which is their specific product, and I will probably rank above them. They're going to get really upset about that, maybe, but they can't do anything about it because I'm not infringing on any of their names. So that's very important for future. Now, if you decide that, well, you made your store, it's successful, you made your first $1,000 net profit, trademark your domain name, because tomorrow, I did Secret Weapon Performance. Somebody can come out tomorrow and make secretweaponperformanceonline.com or secretweaponperformancestore.com, rank it, go right below me, and what am I going to do then? He just tapped into my sales. Now what? Another thing could be that the manufacturer takes me to court, even though they don't have a big argument, even the spec stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They take me to court. I have to pay my attorney, right? I have to pay them at least $4 or $5 grand to defend myself. I'll probably win, but I still have to pay $4 or $5 grand to my attorney to do that, maybe more. But if you have a trademark on your domain name, there is no court case. The court case will get dismissed. You don't even have to hire an attorney. You can just go there and say, I have a trademark name. Here it is. Dismissed. That's it. So if you make your $1,000 and you're doing a niche brand and you feel that some of the terms might be infringing and they might get upset and anything that could happen, trademark your name. I use LegalZoom. They charge $169 for their service. $325 is the government's fee for the trademark. You pay that one time and you never have to worry about it again. You don't have to pay it up front. You can just pay it from your profits once the store succeeds. And obviously, if you're going to do the trademarking, make yourself a professional logo. You can contact Shopping Cart Lead. We can do one for you for like $150, a nice one. And you want to have a logo in your trademark, so later on you don't have to redo it when you figure out, oh, by the way, I need a logo, and then you have to redo your trademark. Here are some ideas of niche stores that I was brainstorming for myself, and I gave you a breakdown of how much money is involved in starting it, how much money will be in net profits. So 5 niche brand stores, Weapon R, K9, AAM, Fujita, Engine. Your store setup is going to take 30 hours total. Your data entry, if you sign up with SC Data, it's $50 per month that they charge. Or if you prepay, it's $25 a month. If you want to enter the data manually, you got about 160 hours worth of labor in there. If you don't want to do it manually, you can hire a Philippine worker, at $3 an hour. It's going to cost you $480 one time. Get all the data in. You don't have to worry about it afterwards. You can just keep updating it every year, like a few part numbers. Philippine worker could be $75 per month for link exchanges for the 5 stores. So this is for 5 stores. If you've hired them part-time at $75 per month to do the 5 stores and to get your 5 links every single day, that's approximately what it's going to cost you. Graphic design, one of the things that I like to do is I don't like to pay for the graphic design until the stores, I feel that the stores are ready to make money, or the stores can make money, or I can find an advertiser. So I usually just charge for, the $250, it's $50 per store. So basically, This is considering you do a design for each store, but one of the things that you can do is do one design, a universal one for all 5 stores, and then once you feel that you need to have a separate design for each store, you go out and do the separate design. But this is the $250 would be for all 5 stores, but you can also pay like, $50 or $75 and do one nice design for all stores, which is going to be just called, air intakes, since these are all air intakes, and just upload it to all the sites. Who cares? Domain names, $45 per year for 5 domains. Shopping cart elite. Now this is negotiable. Like I put down 3 months free, and then $145 per month. Basically, one of the things that we want to do is help you out with doing these niche stores. So we're doing a subscription. I believe we're doing $29 per month for the first year if you're doing at least 5 stores. So if with 5 stores, you're going to end up paying $145 per month, and we're telling you we're going to give you 3 months free. But if you need more, just let me know, and we can do something about giving you more time to get this thing rolling. The lead generation partner, you need to find one, unless you want to, take it where you're going to make the sales yourself, and if it doesn't work out, then you'll find one. Your total investment in the next 6 months, if you do the 5 stores, is going to be $1,370, considering these fees. And I considered that you would hire a Filipino worker instead of doing the SC data. After the 3 months, it's $145 per month recurring. If you're going to sell ad space, which means you're going to find a lead generation partner who's going to be willing to pay you $300 per month to get all the quotes coming in from each store, within 6 months, I can guarantee that the store will rank if you're doing 5 links a day. I mean, it's no questions asked. It's going to be number 1 or number 2 or number 3 for sure. So you'll definitely be up there. And if somebody's willing to pay $300 per month, and if you chose the right niche, there's no reason why somebody wouldn't be able to pay you. Between 5 stores, you're at $1,500 per month. So you invested your money, and you're paying monthly, and all of a sudden, as soon as you get your clients in, your investment gets paid off, and obviously from there on, your recurring payment is covered. So you have nothing to worry about. You're actually going positive. It's not a whole lot of money because I'm doing minimums. I mean, $300 is minimum. Anything under $300, I'm not even talking to them. It could be $1,000 per month they're paying you, or $2,000. I mean, depending what niche you're doing, there could be more advertisers on one store. Now, sales is, I basically said that if you're number 1, you must be getting a sale every other day at least. If you don't, I mean, you definitely chose the wrong niche, or something is going on, not the right prices, whatever. But every other day, you have to be getting a sale every other day if you're number 1, number 2 for that niche brand. So I wrote 15 sales per month. If you're doing like $30 of net profit on each sale between 5 stores, you're at $2,250 in net profit per month, which, again, is a very realistic number. I did much more in my secret weapon store. I was doing a sale every day without doing anything, just by ranking for the term weaponar. So getting a sale every other day should be a no-brainer. And, these are your profits. These are solid numbers, and I hope they make sense, because, these are the lowest possible numbers that you can come up with based on, these stores, based on the investment. So the investment, in other words, will definitely get paid off as long as you chose the right niches, and as long as the job gets done correctly with, the links and anchor text and so on. This is one of them that I'm doing right now for myself. So I decided to dominate the dash kit market. I'm doing 32 dash kit stores. This is basically what my cost is coming out to be. The store setup is 2 hours. I don't need to do data entry because Yakuza has my data entry that's being shared. My Filipino worker is $480 per month. Graphic design is $50 for all the stores. So I just made one design. I'm going to load it up in all 32 stores and just let it sit there for now. Domains is costing me $288 per year for all 32 domains. The shopping cart lead fee, so if you were to do this 3 months free, then you're at $1,000 per month, which is a lot of money. I mean, who the hell has $1,000 per month? And again, if you're doing 32 stores, and if you really got a good solid plan here, I can extend it for as long as needed until you can make your money before paying that kind of monthly fee. But it's not that bad considering how much you're going to be making. So supplier, obviously I have the best possible discount offered. So my total 6-month investment would be $5,600, almost $5,700. My recurring fee is $1,000 per month. But check it out. if all my 32 stores are going to convert, there's no reason I shouldn't get at least one sale every other day, on all the stores if I'm going to be able to rank them for all these different words. I calculated, 32 websites times 15 sales. My net profit on DashKits is high because we have a really good discount on it. So I ended up with $24,000 per month. You want to be realistic about it? Cut it in half, okay? Which is half of the stores not making any sales. So out of the 32 stores, 15 is not making any sales, and 15 are making the sales every other day. Okay, I'm still at $12,000 per month in net profit, not even gross sales. So my investment pays off immediately. As soon as I get my ranking in there, my recurring fee is covered, and I'm making a ton of money every single month. Now, what I'm planning to do with the 32 DashKit stores, I'm not going to be running them myself, obviously. That's crazy. But I'm going to retain ownership on them. I'm going to forbid people to add other products that are not from Yakuza, so you can only sell Yakuza DashKits. I'm going to give them out eventually. They'll just have to pay me the shopping cart elite fee, and they can run it, and then they can order the products from Yakuza, and basically that's going to be the deal. So I'm going to take the approach of finding a partner for my stores that I'm going to start, and I'm going to benefit from it from the manufacturing side. I can also make a deal with them where from the manufacturing side they don't get $20, $50 net profit because they're not investing any money into it. I'll just give them $25 net profit so I can keep some of the money because, it's my store and I built it and, it's my traffic. Everything is mine. You're just there running it, so you can still make a decent income. Even 15 sales, what is that I'm promising them? 15 sales times 25, 15 times 25, so it's like, $400 a month for doing nothing. Why not? It's more than you're doing now, and you're not really doing anything. You're just running customer service, placing the orders as they come in. You don't need to do ranking or anything. And, I can give them 3 stores to run, and that's it. So basically, this is what I'm doing with the 32 DashKit stores. And this is the breakdown of, just to give you a niche breakdown of everything. Store setup, 5 to 10 hours per store. Data entry could be instant. It could be 20 hours per store. You can have the Philippine worker do it. Philippine worker ends up costing about $15 per store per month if you're doing full-time. So if you're doing all 32 stores, and you don't have to do all 32, like I said. You can find, a partner who wants to be involved, or somebody in shopping cart elite, or a friend. I mean, whatever. If you want to do it but you need a partner, let me know. If somebody else comes forward to me and they say, I need a partner, I'll link you guys up and you can do something together. But basically, it comes out to be $15 per store per month if you can fill up the Philippine worker's full-time job. Managing the Philippine worker is like a 2-hour per day, 1 hour to manage, 1 hour to, help them find more links. Domain registration is $9 per store per year. Shopping cart elite, it's free for 3 months. If you need more, let me know. $29 per month per store for the first year if you do 5 stores minimum. Graphic design is $50 per store, and you can have a temporary $50 graphic in all the stores. And you're pretty, if you follow this specific blueprint, you're guaranteed, if you do the right niche, that you're going to get your payout in 6 months or less from whatever money you invested. Even if you, don't want to bother with your savings and put it on a credit card, do the math yourself and make a logical decision that if it's going to work or not. And if it is, 6 months is basically where you're going to get your return. If you already have a website, I know many dealers might have a website not being monetized for whatever reason. Here's your checklist if you want to consider going into the advertising. So if you're number 1 or number 3 for your main keywords, if you have at least 1,000 unique visitors per month, and if you're happy with the revenue you're making, and I said, the answer is yes, yes, no, meaning you are number 1 or number 2 or 3 on Google for your main keywords, you have 1,000 or more visitors per month, and you are not happy with the revenue you're making, here's a few different hints on what you can do. 1, approach different suppliers that sell your kind of product and see if they want to liquidate anything, meaning they want to give you like a really, really bottom low price. If yes, put up those products on the store, see how well the conversions are going to go after that. Find a lead generating partner and have them buy your traffic advertising. That's what I did with Hypertech, and it worked. I'm almost done with the trial, so we'll see how happy he is with the conversions. Third is hire a Filipino worker to run the store and start another store. So, I mean, if it's not making any money, you probably wouldn't be able to afford a Filipino worker. But if it's making some money, just take those profits, give it to the Filipino worker, and start another store. Why are you sitting in the same store hoping that it's eventually going to make money? Fourth is you can get a partner and run it for you while you start another store, so you don't have to invest any money in a Filipino worker. Just give it to someone else who you believe can handle it and maybe grow it while you do another store that's going to be more profitable. And the final thing is you can sell it on Flippa. The stores go there between $1,000 to $20,000, sometimes more, depending on how much sales volume you can promise them and how much you did. So you can consider doing Flippa. So the conclusion to this webinar is that you can email us, Shopping Cart Elite, with a proposal to start your online empire and do it for free. You don't have to pay for the stores. You just got to give me a normal proposal by saying, listen, this is what my plan is. I don't have a link list. I need your link list. Okay, I'm going to get a Filipino worker. If you can't afford a $3 an hour Filipino worker, let me know. I'll tell you where to look for a cheaper one. You can get one really cheap, but you have to train them. So tell me I'm going to train them myself. This is the sites I'm going to be doing. These are the niche brands. If you need my opinion on which niche brands, I'll help you with that. And I don't want to do all the work for you. You do most of the work. If you need my advice or opinion, give me a proposal. I don't want you to tell me, hey, what should I do? Unless you want to pay me for consulting services, I want to give you free service. So if you want my free opinion, give me as much information as you can. So give me a legitimate proposal. Tell me how much time you need, what you're planning to do, and you don't have to pay for the technology part of it. And you can get your online empire started. I recommend going to different companies and telling them, hey, if I did this for you, would you be willing to pay me if the leads start coming in? If they say yes, start a website for that lead generating partner without whatever they're selling. If it doesn't work out and they don't want to pay you, you can always monetize that store for something else. You can find another lead generating partner. You can sell something on it. There's different things that you can do on it. And my personal opinion is that the advertising model on the e-commerce websites is the best way to get yourself working a 3-hour workday and earn a $100K salary or more every year. And like I said, the main reason why, because you do it once. It's completely autopiloted as far as maintaining it. You just got to keep up doing some links here and there for it. Your one Filipino worker can pretty much do 100 different stores because you don't need to do 5 links a day. You can do 1 or 2 links every day and just make it continuous so it never loses its rank once it's ranked already. Once it's there, your sales channel is there, that's it. You call the shots. You want to do advertising on it, you find a partner who's willing to pay you. As long as he's happy, as long as the leads are coming in, you get paid every single month on time. You have zero customer service. They will never call you for anything unless they want to cancel it. But again, why would they cancel it if they're making money with it? It's a volume-based business. You start at one site, or in my case, I'm recommending do 5 sites, but do it right. Do 5 sites. Those make money in the advertising. Do the next 5, the next 5, and eventually you can build up, 50 or 100 sites. You don't run them. You don't do customer service. All you do is you manage a Filipino worker that you can maybe hire someone to do it for you. You pay the Filipino worker, your total expense for the month between the Filipino worker and the manager is going to be like, $500 or $800. You sit back, collect the money every month, 30, 40 grand, and you go on vacations, you go wherever you want. You don't have to do anything. You just sit back really and collect the money. At that point, obviously you got to get there, but this is how Google does it, Yahoo, Bing, all these online advertising. That's how they do it. There's billions of dollars in there, and people are willing to spend that to get those sales. So you theoretically don't have to be in the position to actually sell the products. You can be in the position of getting the customers to buy somebody else's products and sending them the leads. So this is the end of the webinar. I hope you learned some stuff from it and you can utilize some of the ideas I have. If you have any questions, I'll take the questions. Michael wants to call me directly. Okay, if there's no other questions, thanks for coming tonight and have a good evening.